So, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our monthly webinar Wednesday session from Sight and Sound Technology. My name is Stuart Lawler. Delighted to be back with you again for September. It is the start of the school year, I think pretty much everywhere. Certainly, it also feels like the start of autumn. It feels a little bit cooler in the last few days. So, hope everybody is doing well. We're delighted to be back. And this month, because it is September and the start of school, if you haven't been using Microsoft Word for a little while, you might want to refresh your Microsoft Word keyboard shortcuts. And to help us doing that, to help us do that, is Sight and Sound Technologies' Sharon Lyons from our Ireland office. Sharon, welcome in. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Stuart. Hello, everyone.
Delighted to have you. We're going to learn lots about Microsoft Word in the next hour, and we're also going to learn how to use some JAWS features, one which is very new, and the other which has been around for quite a long time, but still very powerful. Sharon's going to tell us all about that. Now, if you'd like to get involved, because it is an interactive session, and Sharon will talk about that in a sec, but if you'd like to get involved, you can raise your virtual hand by pressing Alt and Y on Windows, Option and Y on a Mac, or accessing the appropriate raise hand button. If you're joining us on an app on either iOS or Android, you can likewise post in chat if you want to do that. Alt and H on Windows, Option and H on Mac, or accessing the chat button on your app of choice, whether that be Android or iOS. We are keen to keep the session within the hour or very slightly over it if we go over, but not much more. So if you are asking questions, please, if you can keep them as concise as possible, we would appreciate it. So I'm very, very, very happy that Sharon Lyons has joined us to, it's kind of becoming an annual event that Sharon comes at the start of September or start of January. So we're delighted to have Sharon here with us for the start of either the school or the calendar year. So Sharon, welcome in, and we're looking forward to learning lots about Microsoft Word.
Thank you, Stuart. Hello, everyone, again. Welcome to what's the webinar called again? Sorry.
We need to have a
We
word,
need to
we
have
call
a
this one.
word. Thank you. Yes, we need to have a word. So yeah, we need to refresh ourselves on our word shortcuts and our word tricks so that we can get back into the academic year for all of us. I always feel like it's New Year at this time of year. I don't know why, it's just September just feels like New Year more than January. Maybe it's because the sun is shining, and that's nice. For once, it is shining here today. So Word, we all love it or hate it. It's very fundamental to our work. It is the most popular word processing application out there. And thanks to JAWS, it's pretty accessible and getting more accessible all the time. Word was released back in 1983, and as I say, it's very popular. Just to explain, we are using Office 365 version of Word, which means, this is my disclaimer, which means that I'm on a certain update, which may not be the same update as you. So I've noticed some little changes that I'll talk about, some little differences, I should say, that I even noticed recently to do with what update you're on. And I'm running Windows 11 and JAWS 2024, hopefully the latest updates. I did check. So that's where we're at here now. So the way I'm going to run this session now, I would usually just quite happily go off on my little keyboard shortcut road and start talking through all the shortcuts that are involved in Word, or as much as I can get through in an hour. But I thought we'd maybe do something a bit different. I'm not sure how familiar everyone is with Word and Word shortcuts, but I assume everybody is a Word user. Correct me if I'm wrong. So I'd like to ask you as the attendees, what is your favorite Word shortcut? So what is your favorite Word keyboard shortcut or tool that you use all the time that you would like to share with everybody else? And we'll probably start with our favorite shortcuts, Stuart. So I will share my screen first. So let's just get set up with JAWS.
Green button. You have started screen share. Press F6 to switch between open Zoom windows. Screen.
Okay. Now,
You have
hopefully,
started.
you can hear my JAWS chatting away
Press
there.
Alt to show or hide meeting control.
Okay. Are you
Task
hearing
switching.
that, Stuart?
Screen share meeting controls.
Okay. And I have a document open at the
Task
moment.
switching. Brecon Mountain Railway dashboard.
Which is all about a place I visited a few years ago now in Wales called the Brecon Mountain Railway, which was stunning. So I don't know whether anyone else has been there. It's a great place. So, Stuart, do you like to go first?
Well, my two favorite word shortcuts at present. Oh, can I have two? Okay.
To all panelists, my favorite.
Okay.
So I have a shortcut that I've been using a little while lately. If I want to do bullets in a document, which is Control Shift and L. So select the text and then press Control Shift and L. I do believe you can also do that as you're typing as well.
Yes, I can show you that as well, because I have a list that I need to bullet point at the end of this document. So one of my favorite shortcuts would be Control Home and Control End to go to the top and the bottom of the document. So there's one straight away. So I can go Control End.
Page 4, a graph showing visitor. Page 3, blank. Welsh Highland Railway, Snowdon Mountain, Llangollen Railway, Brecon Mountain Railway, Aberystwyth Cliff Rail. Brecon Mountain Railway is one of the most popular in Wales. Others include colon.
So here I have a list. I just arrowed back up through it. I have a list of different railways in Wales. So if I go to the beginning of my list, and I'm going to hold down the Shift key and select this list of railways.
Aberystwyth, Brecon, Llangollen, Snowdon, Welsh Highland, Welshpool and Llanfairlight Railway period.
Okay, so Stuart, it's Control
Shift and L.
Control Shift L.
And now
Brecon Level 1 bullet Aberystwyth Cliff Railway.
I have
bullet Brecon Mountain Railway.
A bulletted list.
Fantastic.
Yes, I use that a lot. And I actually discovered something this morning, would you believe? Because a lot of people then ask me, okay, well, what about a numbered list? I can do a bulleted list really easily, Control Shift L, but what about a numbered list? And there isn't a shortcut for a numbered list.
Harry Mead raised
You have to go up to the ribbons and you have to find the numbered list in there. But if I'm on my first bullet list here,
Brecon bullet Aberystwyth Cliff Railway,
and I backspace to get rid of the bullet,
blank,
and again,
blank,
and then if I put in
one period, space, autocorrect colon list item 1,
and now it's done an autocorrect, and if I go down,
level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, Welshpool and Llanfairlight Railway.
So now I have a numbered list instead of a bulleted list.
Sharon, we had two people in the audience commenting. Matthew Clark says his favorite word options are headings, creating headings, and I suppose navigating headings. I think, Matthew, sorry, I'm kind of paraphrasing you there.
Thank you for that, Matthew.
And we do have a raised hand from Harry Mead, who's a regular attendee. So he might have a great shortcut for us. So if you don't mind, we'll bring him on just for a sec.
From Karen.
So Harry, you should be able to unmute yourself if you have a shortcut you want to share.
Hi, very briefly, one of my favorite ones, given we're talking about Word, is F7 for spell check.
Oh, yes, that's a good one. And I can add to that. I'll raise you an Alt F7 on that one. Now, let me show that. So
Harry Mead has a lowered hand.
Thanks, Harry. So I'll go Control Home.
Page 1, heading left.
go back to the top. Oh, it says headings there. I'll come back to that, Matthew. So spell check. Spell check has changed quite a lot over the years. And if I pressed F7 for a spell check.
F7. Editor.
It brings up this editor
Grammatical
panel.
error. Founder and editor
and
score.
It goes off talking about spelling and scores and grammar and all sorts of things. I personally, to be very honest, I don't like pains in Word. Pains are a pain for me. So when I say pains, I mean a separate area of the screen that jumps up. Like when you do Control F, you get a navigation pane comes up, and when you do F7, the editor pane comes up. So, and I can get rid of it, I hope, by doing Control
space, Group,
C,
leaving menus, editor, Brecon Mountain Railway dash.
So what I use now, that I discovered recently, is Alt F7. And what Alt F7 does is it takes you to the next spell check and gives you some suggestions. And then you press Alt F7 again and it goes off to the next one. So if I did Alt F7.
Alt F7. Grammar only one space between words is better. Suggestions to choose from. Founder Anthony split button. 1 of 1. Press Alt plus down arrow for more options.
And so I can go, I can press Alt.
Edit.
Oops, sorry, no. Try again, Sharon.
Alt F7. Misspell W Wales. Spelling. Suggestions to choose from. Wales split button. 1 of 3.
Yeah,
press Alt plus down arrow for more options.
So if I did Alt and down arrow.
Alt down arrow. Read aloud. 1 of 4. To move through items, press up.
To read aloud.
Spell out.
I can get it
2 of
spell
4.
Out. I can
Change
get it
all.
to change
3
all.
of 4.
So it gives me a bit more options.
Escape.
And
leaving menu.
If I go all the way down the different suggestions.
Wales split button. 2 of 3. While split button. 3 of 3.
And tab. Oops.
Add to dictionary button. To act. Ignore all button.
Yeah.
To activate, press space bar.
So when I get to the end of the list, this is quite new, as you can tell. I've been playing with this. I can tab to an ignore button or an add to dictionary button. But I'm just going to escape out of that. I'll do Alt F7 again.
Alt F7. Escape.
Alt
Edit.
F7.
Alt F7. Sum of. Suggested actions : specific numbers or examples add impact to a resume.
Okay, that's
resumes.
Weird grammar one. So you get the idea. So Alt F7 will take you to the next spelling mistake. And you can take the suggestion or you can carry on, escape and carry on.
Sharon, there's a couple of more coming in on chat. John Carroll found the the numbers and bullet lists one to be useful. Kieran Hedges mentions Shift F3 for changing case.
Oh, yes.
I really like that one. And our friend Svetlana mentions Control Shift and G, but I'm not sure what that shortcut is for. So Svetlana, if you want to tell us in the chat, we'd love to know. I do not know Control Shift and G, but it could be very useful. We have a raised hand, Sharon, from Jackie Brown in
Jackie
Limavady. No, I'm going to get that wrong. Maharafelt, I think, not Limavady.
That's right.
Jackie, if you want to unmute yourself, you should be able to give us your shortcut.
To all.
Sorry.
Okay.
Hi, Jackie.
Can you hear me? Hi,
yeah.
Can you hear me? Hi.
Yes. Hi.
Right. Hi. Okay, so one I use quite a lot. I love this because I'm writing them all down furiously. I know quite a few of these shortcuts and use them because I tend to sort of live in words, to be honest.
Yeah.
But one that I do really like that's very useful is if you've accidentally highlighted something or you've got something in a document that you don't want it to be there, you can highlight it with your cursors, and then you can do Control Shift and N for new or normal, and it normalizes whatever that document is. And I think it's a great because, you know, sometimes you could end up with a code of some sort in there, a bullet, a stray bullet, a stray number, or anything, and it can be really annoying. And if you try to delete it, sometimes, you know, it messes up your text. So the best way to use that is to highlight the text that you want to change, and then do Control Shift and N for normal, and it normalizes it. And you can actually do Control A and Control Shift and N if you want to normalize the whole document. So that's a really useful one that I use quite often.
Yes, especially
Brilliant, Jackie.
especially if you're copying and pasting from somewhere else.
Yes. Yeah. If you take some text and you find it's the wrong color, you find it's the wrong size of font, and you can do all these kind of things with JAWS. So if you get into that situation, you can actually normalize a document, and I do really think that's it's one of the ones I use the most.
Great. Might have
Thanks,
a play
Jackie.
with that along the way.
Brilliant.
Thank you, Jackie.
And I just want to go back to chat for a minute, because Svetlana had given us something. No, maybe she hadn't. Sorry, apologies. Sorry for that.
Yes, I thought I heard something. Anyway, we're hearing things, Stuart. Okay. Right, well, let's have a look at those then.
Founder, the bracket heading T-A-E space B.
So,
Bravo.
So,
C-A-T.
Another shortcut that I like as I'm setting this up is control and arrows. So arrows up and down will read a line at a time. Left and right will read a character at a time, as I was just doing there. That's why you heard all those characters. Control up and down will read, control up was the previous paragraph, control down is the next paragraph. So control up.
Heading level 1 Brecon Mountain Railway.
Which is a heading, which we'll come back to. Was it Matthew that said about the headings?
Yeah, and sorry, I just wanted to say, apologies to Svetlana. I did find your chat, Svetlana. Control Shift and G is for statistics, document statistics, apparently. Ooh. I did not know that. This is very interesting.
Okay, hold that thought. Control down then, next paragraph.
The Brecon Mountain Railway has its roots in a dream that began over 40 years ago.
Probably more than 40 years ago now. Anyway, and control left and right is a word at a time. So if I add a control right,
Brecon Mountain Railway,
and
Mountain
always
Brecon,
back the other way. Always remember that your cursor is in front of what it's reading. So it's always in front, or
from Matthew Clark to
the letter is always to the right of the cursor. So if you ever want to delete something, you've got to go past it and backspace, if backspace is your preferred way of deleting. So I am going to show Kieran's shortcut here, which was Shift F3 to change the case. So if I select a word, so I can add Shift into any of those control and arrows to have selection as well. Control, Shift, and right arrow.
Brecon.
And I selected Brecon, and then I do Shift F3.
Shift F3. B-R-E-C-O-N.
And we get a much higher pitch on the capitals for that one. And if I do it again, Shift F3.
Shift F3. B-R-E-C-O-N.
And if I do it again, that's all lowercase. Do it again, Shift F3.
Shift F3. B-R-E-C-O-N.
And it cycles back around to capitalized. Lovely. Thank you, Kieran. Apologies, actually, if I lose track of who said what. Just so far so good, I hope. Okay. Now, headings.
Heading level 1 Brecon Mountain Railway.
So my top heading is, my main heading is a heading level 1. And you have headings level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. I don't usually get past 2 or 3 when I'm using headings, but then I don't produce particularly complicated or long documents, as some of you may be doing in your college assignments or in your work. So what I'm going to do here, because it's already heading
B
level 1.
Bravo.
I'm going to make it normal. Should we try that, Jackie? So I'm going to do Control Shift and down.
Brecon Mountain Railway heading level 1.
And if I do, to make it normal, I can do Control Shift and
Control
N.
Shift N.
And
The
now
Brecon Mountain Railway.
It's not saying heading level 1. If I want to make that heading level 1, I can just position on the paragraph, in effect, that the heading. And I actually use for my headings, I use the Alt-GR key that is to the right of the space bar. You can also use, I think it's Control and Alt. Is that right, Stuart?
Yes, Control and Alt, exactly. On the left, Control and Alt.
I'm a bit lazy and I just want to use one key. So I press Alt-GR and 1.
Alt Control 1.
And now if I arrow down and up,
The heading level 1 Brecon Mountain Railway.
I have heading level 1 for my main heading. And you can do this throughout your document. You can just position on your headings and give it Alt-GR1 for heading 1, Alt-GR2 for heading 2, or as we say, Control Alt and the numbers for the headings as well. Now, I'm really glad that Matthew pointed this out because it's really quite important. Specifying headings in your document is really, really good for the accessibility of that document, because as we know, as JAWS users, we can get a list of headings and we can navigate through a document using the headings. So if I do caps lock F6.
JAWS version 2024-2406, 121.
Okay.
Heading list dialog.
Here we go.
Headings list view. Brecon Mountain Railway : 1 of 8. To move to items, use the arrow keys.
So now I can arrow down through all the headings in my page, all the headings in my document, and it will tell me what level they are as well.
Choosing the perfect location: 2. Brecon and Merthyr Railway : a historic route, the Pant Station and its industrial past: 2.
And so on. Now, do you remember I had a list of other railways? So if I remember that my heading right at the end for the last section was other railway attractions or something like that, I can do single letter navigation here. So in the list of headings, I can press O.
O, not selected. Other railway attractions in Wales: 2.
And I can press enter.
Enter. Heading level 2, other railway attractions in Wales.
And I'm back down to my my section at the end that talks about the other railways. And that's where we were playing with bulleted and numbered lists earlier. So that's headings and capitals and the normal shortcut, thanks to Jackie. What else? Now, Stuart, you had another favorite.
Yeah, so one of my other favorites is, and this works in all the Microsoft Office applications, it's Alt and Q, and I remember Q for question. So if you are not sure where a word option or setting is, you can press Alt and Q and it brings you into an edit box. So you might like to type, for example, word count or something else. And it will, if you press the down arrow, it will give you the best matches. And if you hear it say actions, then it has found a menu option relevant to what you have typed in. So it's a handy feature, and as I say, it works in all the Microsoft Office apps.
I really like the word count idea, and I'm sure if there's any students listening to this, they're like, oh yes, give me that. So what did you say? Alt Q?
Alt Q.
Alt Q.
Alt Q, ribbon. Type to search and use the up and down arrow keys to navigate submenu. Microsoft Search Edit.
So if
just start W O R D word C O N T 6 suggest count. Enter.
Or just press the down arrow key.
Best action group. Word count 1 of 1.
Great.
Enter. Leaving menus. Brecon Mountain Railway dashboard. Ribbon. Type to search and use the up and down arrow keys to navigate submenu. Microsoft Search Edit. Close button.
Did I not give it enough time to read it out?
So I think it was eventually going to read it, but it would
Yeah.
have given you your statistics, word count, paragraphs, etc.
But I can do caps lock and B for that anyway, can't I? JAWS key and B for it to read.
You can read the status line, but where this is a useful keystroke, if you want to do a word count for a selected piece of text within the document and not have to read the whole word count, this might be useful. And not have to read the whole document, rather.
Oh, so you can select a
piece of text and then just do a word count on this selection.
Yeah. So I have the word count dialog up, but I can do caps lock and B to read that, can't I think.
Word count dialog. Close button. Statistics : pages 4 words 804 characters left paren no spaces right paren 4000.
Okay, we don't really need to know 804 words. That's way too short for an assignment, isn't it? But luckily this is not an assignment. So I can press enter to close, or I can
Escape.
press
Edit. Page 3.
And we're back. That's quite powerful, that Alt Q, wasn't it? Yeah. Alt Q. Thanks for that, Stuart. I'm making notes here. Are there any other favourites out there before I just go off on one about my own?
I think let's have some of yours, Sharon.
Raised hand.
Oh, Jackie's back.
We have a hand. We'll come to your hand in a sec, Jackie. We won't forget you.
Okay, let's have a look at one of mine. So many to choose from. Oof. Now, Format Painter. Format Painter is a great one. If you want to copy formats
Brecon Mountain
from one place to another, so you can just position on the style that you want.
Heading level 2 other railway
I have a heading level
from
2.
Leeson and Collis to everyone :
So I can copy the formatting by doing Control-Shift-C.
Copying format.
And then I can go to
Brecon Mountain Railway is one
line, and I can select what I want to format.
Brecon Mountain Railway
as what I just copied, and then I do Control-Shift-V.
Applied format.
Oh, that didn't actually work. Control
Brecon
Z.
Mountain.
Another favorite in everything. Control Z gets you out of trouble, and it decided to paste my Zoom link. Okay, so I think I know what's happening here. And you remember I mentioned about the updates in Word. Sorry, I mentioned about the version of Word that we're using, the Office 365 version, and I may be at a certain update because I've heard that the Format Painter is actually Control-Alt.
From Paul Clayton to every
Control-Alt-V. So, which is the same actually in Excel, by the way. If you want to do a special kind of paste, you do Control-Alt-V. So
heading level 2.
So let's just try it anyway. Control-Alt-C.
Alt Control-C. Brecon Mountain Railway is one. Brecon.
Select my word. Control-Alt-V.
Alt Control-V.
And that worked. Now that's very interesting because the other day when I was playing with this, the other shortcut worked. Let's Control-Z that anyway. That's not a heading. Confused? So yeah, see what happens on your version of Word. But it used to be Control-Shift-C to copy formatting and Control-Shift-V to paste it. But now it's changed to Control-Alt-C to copy and Control-Alt-V to paste formatting.
Sharon,
Okay.
I'm just going to mention two from the audience.
Yes,
Lisa
please.
is mentioning, and again, they're really useful, Control-Z to undo, Control-Y to redo.
Yes,
Use Control-Z a lot. And
Sharon Hedges.
Paul Clayton is mentioning that Control and D brings up the font menu. I did not know that either.
Control and, sorry, what was that?
Control and D.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's true. Control D.
Control D. Font colon
There we
edit.
go.
Plus body escape.
I tend to use Control Shift
Control
F,
Shift F.
which does
Font
the same
colon
thing.
edit.
But that's because I remember F for font.
And Kieran is asking, why does narrator say quotes for apostrophe? And that's purely to do with the speech engine and, you know, different speech engines, and sometimes different screen readers are configured differently to say different things.
Yeah.
Do you want to give Jackie her shout out for her shortcut?
Jackie.
So Jackie, apologies for delaying you.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, right, great. For JAWS users only, I don't know what the equivalent is in NVDA, but a really useful one when we're talking about fonts and all that kind of your attributes. Insert, which is the JAWS key, and F is really useful in Word. Yes. And I use this one an awful lot because it tells you the color, it tells you whether your text is indented or, you know, depends what line you're on, but it is really useful. If you want to apply, if you, for example, you can do, say you want to underline something, so you can highlight it and then you can do Control U, and the same with italics, you can do Control I. Or Control B for bold. But if you want to know that you've got bold on that line when you're skimming through a document, you can just do the JAWS key and F, and it does give you quite a lot of information because it tells you the font, it tells you the color, and it tells you if there is bold or italicized or whatever on that line as well, and it tells you if it's indented. So it's a really useful command if you're a JAWS user. There probably is an equivalent in NVDA, but I don't know it. So yeah.
I think it's the same, actually.
Yeah. Okay.
Off the top of my head. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Jackie. Another great shortcut.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Jackie.
that.
And I will now let everybody know what my heading.
Heading level 2 other railway attractions.
Heading level 2. I'll let you all know what formatting I have on my heading level 2 by doing just what Jackie just said. So I'm on a laptop, so it's caps lock and F.
16 point, dark slate grey on white, Aptus display, heading 2 style, line spacing : 0 lines, paragraph formatting : aligned left, outline level : 2.
Wow, that's a lot of information. The other thing you can also do if you're just interested in color is, I think it says JAWS key and 5. So let's try that. If you just want to know what color you're on, so
dark slate grey on white.
Dark slate grey. Do you know, it's funny. To me, it's blue. But anyway, dark slate grey is the color of my headings. Great stuff. Thanks, Jackie.
Yeah, there's some great shortcuts have been shared so far. So we very glad to get the feedback from our audience.
Now, what else can we have a look at? Oh yeah, something I found out recently as well is Shift F5. Now, if I go up to the top of the document,
page 1, heading.
Let's see if this works. Shift F5 will take you to your last change in the document. So if you like jump to the top or the bottom and then think, oh, what was I working on? Shift F5, while the document is open, it will take you back to the last.
From Claire Waits.
So Shift F5, and it should take me back down.
Shift F5, page 3.
Yeah, where are we?
Heading level 2 other railway attraction.
There we are. That was where we were. It's gone back to almost to the end of the document for me. Shift F5. So jump to your last change.
And somewhat linked to that, we have a message from Claire in chat, which is a great question. Is there a shortcut to turn off track changes? I've gotten into so much bother with track changes, and I was only doing something with somebody yesterday afternoon about track changes, and I couldn't agree more, especially when you're working on a document with more than one person. It is very hard work. Control Shift and E is the shortcut to turn off track changes.
Quick, write that one down. Note that one down.
So
Control
great
Shift,
question, Claire.
E. I have very rarely used track changes, but then I mean that depends very much on your kind of the environment you work in or study in, whether they use that, and if you're have multiple authors for a document and you need to keep track of the changes, basically.
Sharon, there's another one that's coming on chat. I'm going to, if you don't mind, I'm just going to mention it and hopefully give an answer. It's John Carroll, and it's a great question. Is there a shortcut to copy comments from a document? So the way I do this, John, and I hope it helps you, is when you get to the portion of text that you want, where the comment is, and you want to copy the comment, you can press Alt, Shift, and apostrophe for JAWS to read the comment. But if you press Alt, Shift, and apostrophe twice quickly, it will virtualize the comment, and then you can copy it from the virtual line or virtual window. So I hope that helps.
Great. Sorry, I'm just
from John Carroll
as well. Now, there is a shortcut that I probably need at the moment that I'm going to be very honest and ask you, Stuart. How do I
no pressure, Sharon. I may not know. We might have to get Jackie back.
You'll definitely know this because you present a lot more webinars than me. How do I stop JAWS from announcing the chat?
Yeah, press Alt, Windows, and S for sugar.
Windows S.
Meeting status unavailable.
I think you have to do it. So go, if you need, you'll need to go into the Zoom window first.
JAWS Professional screen sharing meeting control.
And then do it there.
Just say it again.
Alt, Windows S.
Alt, Windows
Alerts
S.
disabled.
That should fix it. Now,
and apologies to anyone that was hearing them. I was hitting control as quickly as I could.
I'm not sure. I should know this because I think that alerts disabled will only work when you have focus in the Zoom meeting. I should know this. I really should. So we'll see.
Railway dash. Brecon Mountain Rail.
We'll just, yeah, I've just switched back to see all quiet on the Western Front.
All quiet, exactly.
So great stuff. What else have we got? God, we've covered quite a lot, haven't we, between us?
Absolutely. You're going to show us your text analyzer or
yes.
AI stuff, Sharon. This is kind of
let's
the exciting
have a play
stuff.
With that now. I think we've gone through, I'm just checking my list here, and we've gone through most
Jackie's just asking about comments, keystrokes, so I just might mention those because I love, and just again, this is a very personal view. Obviously, it depends. Do you prefer track changes or comments? I prefer comments. I prefer people to comment on documents that I write rather than try to make changes on my behalf. So if you want to list all the comments in a document into a list view, you can press Alt Shift and the apostrophe key, Control Shift and the apostrophe key. And if you want to read the comment at the cursor, you can press Alt Shift and apostrophe. And as I said, if you want to virtualize it, you can press Alt Shift and the apostrophe key twice. So they can be very handy. Hopefully people find those of use.
So Control Shift and apostrophe will get you all the comments.
Yeah, it'll put them into a list. Yeah, so if there's several comments in the document, and then you can press enter on any of those comments, and it should bring you to that point in the document. I've found that a little bit sporadic in my experience, but I think in general it should do it.
Great stuff. Now, so we were talking about, the text analyzer. Oh, I should also say that any of the shortcuts that I've mentioned that do not have like insert or caps lock, it's not a JAWS key shortcut. They're all general shortcuts that everyone can use. So please do encourage people to use more shortcuts. So if I go to the top of the document, Control Home, the text analyzer tool. So this was originally, or Stuart, you know the history of this, so correct me if I'm wrong. It was originally a kind of programmers or developers shortcut that helped them to track what was happening in a document.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you. And just she says, just making sure that's right with Stuart. And it actually turned out to be a really useful feature. So Text Analyzer will go through your document and pick up any inconsistencies, as in a change of font or stray punctuation marks or something not quite right. It's a bit more than a spell check. So it will kind of pick up spelling mistakes as well. Or it'll pick up inconsistencies in the wording and the kind of case and things like that. So to use it, you press Alt, Windows, and I, and it will take you to your first inconsistency or first change, if you like. So I'll press that.
Font change Aptus 11 points black.
Okay, and it says that the fonts change. So if I arrow around that now.
Heading level 1 Brecon Mountain. The Brecon Mountain Railway has its.
So I just arrowed up and down, and I know that's a font change because it was a heading. So it's changed from the heading formatting to the paragraph formatting. So that's not an inconsistency as such, but we'll go on to the next one. So we can just do Windows Alt I.
Space run at 8.
We've got a space run at 8, and the numbers that they are talking about are kind of how far along the line you are. So it's like a kind of an indicator, and we are about what did it say, eight characters along the line. So I can just arrow left and right here and see
space A, space, space,
and I've got
space,
2 spaces there. So
space.
I can get rid of that space and I can go on to the next one. Control, oops, not control, sorry. Windows Alt I.
Inverted cap W at 30.
Now I've got an inverted cap issue here. So let's arrow through this. So I'll just get some contacts.
Most breathtaking scenery and misspelled W Wales.
It's also a misspelling that Jaws helpfully tells me. So let's have a look at this.
Misspelled W A L E S.
So if I go back again.
C-E-L-A-W.
So I've got a
whisk.
Capital A rather than a capital W. So
A-L.
let's just
misspelled W A.
Okay. Windows Alt I.
Font change Aptus displays 16 points dark slate grey. Choosing.
I've got a font change again, but as you might guess, that's my next heading. So
after a heading level 2, choosing the perfect location.
Choosing. And I'll do it one more time just to.
Font change Aptus 11 points black. After.
Yeah. After.
Heading level 2 after an extensive search.
So those inconsistencies were saying the previous paragraph changed then to a heading and then from the heading to the next paragraph. So it's just telling me that where the font is changing in my document, and if it's meant to change, I don't need to worry about it. So that is correct. Next one.
Space run at 75.
And I have another space run. Okay.
Space period. Space. Space period. Space.
And I get rid of those. So very, very useful.
And it is important to say, I know you've mentioned as well, Sharon, but people sometimes confuse. It is a consistency checker. So it's not a spell checker. Mm-hmm. It's not going to check your grammar. And I would also say, even in the days of AI and all these other things that we're in the midst of, it is no replacement for asking somebody to look at a document for you, to throw a human eye, over something. But it is a really good tool to get, I think, 90% of the way.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Great. Any questions on that? Or are we good to?
We don't have anything yet. If anyone wants to ask a question, you can raise your hand. You can type in chat. Or if you have any other questions for Sharon, shortcut-wise, please, from Word, please feel free to, again, put something in chat.
Okay.
Lisa has said, could you repeat how you opened a view with the list of headings?
Oh, yes. So assuming that I'm in a document like this one where someone's marked up the headings, it's JAWS key and F6 for a list of headings. So I use caps lock because I'm on a laptop, so caps lock and F6.
JAWS version 2024-2406-121. Heading list dialog. Headings list view. Brecon Mountain Railway: 1. 1 of 8. To move to items, use the arrow keys.
So then I can arrow through and press enter on where I want to jump to in the document. And then I press escape.
Escape.
When I'm finished. Yeah, headings are really important. Not only can people jump to headings if they use JAWS, they can jump to headings in a document in Word, but if that document is then converted to a PDF, those marked up headings go along with the PDF. So the more accessible you can make your Word documents when they're converted to PDF or even into a web page, those attributes go with the text and then makes your new document more accessible.
I'm just going to address a couple of things that are coming into chat, Sharon, because they're sort of on this topic. So Monique is asking, is there a shortcut for heading, title and subtitle? Monique, I think and please correct me if I'm wrong, I think you mean heading levels 1, 2, 3. And if that's what you mean, you can use the keystroke Sharon gave you, which is the JAWS key with F6. You can also use JAWS key and Z to turn on what are called quick keys. And then if you press the number 2, it will move to the first heading level 2 in the document. If there was one, if you press the letter 3, it would move to the level 3, etc. Or
and
1.
H for heading, would that work as well?
H for heading would work, yeah.
Yes, of course.
Svetlana says, when I show text analyzer, I say this is for things that are easy to skip if you don't have a Braille display and are using speech. I think that's a really good point, because if you were using Braille, you might spot these things. You might spot, for example, a space run. You wouldn't necessarily with speech, and you certainly wouldn't spot font changes. And Sai is just asking for a quick recap, please, of the text analyzer keys. So that was the key Sharon used, was Alt, Windows and I.
Yeah.
For inconsistency, that's how you remember the I.
Alt, Windows, I. Is all you need to know, really.
That is all you need to know.
Analyzer. Yeah. Just talking about accessibility and the headings, yes. The headings, when you have headings, the other advantage to marking up your titles and subtitles as headings is that you can create a table of contents really quickly from that. So and I can't remember the shortcuts to actually
heading
do
level
that.
Adopt mode heading level 1 Brecon Mountain Railway.
I could create a table of contents.
Enter.
There, I do it there. I think it's insert. It would be Alt N.
Alt N. Upper ribbon. Expanded.
Nope.
Ribbon. Insert tab. 3 of 12. Escape.
I
Escape.
said that, but I can't remember the actual shortcut because it's not something I do very often. Maybe it's references. Alt.
Upper ribbon. Expand. S. References tab. 7 of 12. Alt followed by S. Leaving menus.
First thing here.
Editing combo. Menu. Upper ribbon. Table of contents group. Enter.
Press enter on that.
Expanded. Table of contents button drop down pressed as pop up. Table of contents. 1 of 3. Alt followed by S. T. Table of contents.
Okay, and it gives me a choice of different styles. But if I just press enter,
ribbon,
it'll just
edit.
give me a standard one. And now I have
table, link other railway attractions in Wales 3.
That's giving me my page numbers.
Link craftsmanship and tradition 3.
So I have a table of contents for my document, just like that. And you can always, if you change things or add more sections, you can always update this table. I think it's Shift F10
Shift F10. Group. Cut.
Update.
Edit. Update field.
Update field.
1 of 3.
So
Escape.
I can do that to,
Edit.
as I make changes to the document, I can go back and update my table of contents.
So Sharon, we're about 9 minutes because the hour has flown. So
gosh, yes.
Are we? Do you want to talk a little bit about AI for a couple of minutes to wind us down?
Smart. I've been having a lot of fun with this. Now, I have several images in this document. So I'm going to go to, I could do my quick keys, couldn't I? Caps Lock Z, isn't it, Stuart?
Yep.
Quick keys on.
I can press G.
Out of field. Picture a dog sitting in a train.
Oh, there we go. So I have a picture here of the dog sitting on the train in Brecon, actually. And that dog sitting on a train is the alt text, which is another very important thing for accessibility. So if you put a picture into a document, you can right click or press Shift F10 on the picture, and there's an option in that menu to add alt text. But it doesn't really tell you much unless someone's written a lot of alternative text. So this is where we can use the feature, new feature in JAWS, Picture Smart. It's a layered command, so I'm on my picture and I can do caps lock and space. P for Picture Smart and C for Control.
Picture Smart is in progress.
It's usually a bit quicker than this. And we wait for our Picture Smart results.
The image shows a dog with a dark and white coat sitting in a train car. The dog's mouth is open, tongue out, and it appears to be happy. A person is petting the dog. Behind the dog, there are 2 men with grey hair, wearing blue tops, sitting on wooden bench seats and looking out the large train windows. The view outside the window showcases picturesque scenery with rolling hills and lush forests with autumn foliage.
Yes, so that's a quite detailed, accurate description of it even says the wooden bench seats, which is actually really quite that's a particular feature of that railway, so it's kind of important. You can get more details. You can send it on to other AI tools to get more details, but I have a few pictures, so I just want to show you a few different examples. So I'm going to press escape there.
Escape, a dog sitting in a train image.
And then I can press G for graphic again.
G.
Oh.
G. Quick keys on. Page 2. Picture a map of the Brecons showing the route of the railway.
But this is a map showing the route of the Brecon Mountain Railway. So if I do Picture Smart on this, caps lock,
space, P, Picture Smart. Picture Smart is in progress.
So we all come across this kind of thing. What is a map?
This image is a map showcasing a route marked in red. The route starts near a pinpoint marked at the top center part of the map and travels southward.
Okay, I have to keep arrowing down, sorry.
Following a curved path along the route, there is a water body on its east side. The map also highlights several locations, including Ponstickil, Venor, Brecon Mountain Railway, and Tavarnibach. There are green areas indicating forestry or open land, and the map shows surrounding roads and geographic features.
Okay, so we've got another really good description of a map. I can see someone's put up their hand there, Stuart. I don't know whether you want to discuss what's relevant to this.
Let's finish this demo because I have a few in chat as well that I'll go through, and then we'll. Jessica, I do see your hand. We will come to you.
Okay, so I just want to show you one more thing, which is a graph. So if I go to the next graphic.
Page 4. Picture a graph showing visitors to railways in Wales.
So I'll do my Picture Smart again. Caps lock,
space. P. Picture Smart is in progress.
C for control.
The image is a bar chart titled quote Visitors to Railways in Wales 2017 quote. It compares the number of visitors to 6 different railways in Wales. The railways.
And it's
listed blank.
Our list of railways.
1, 2, 3, Snow 4, 5, 6 blank. The Snowdon Mountain Railway has the highest visitor count, followed by Llangollen Railway and Welsh Highland Railway. The Welsh Pool and Llanfair Light Railway has the fewest visitors.
Okay, now if I carry on arrowing down.
Link ask questions about this image.
I could ask a question.
Enter. Type a question : edit. Type in text.
So,
how many visitors
to Brecon.
Brecon. Enter. How many visitors to Brecon? The Brecon Mountain Railway in the bar chart shows approximately 50,000 visitors in 2017.
And I could say
what is visitors. Enter. What is the highest number of visitors? The Snowdon Mountain Railway has the highest number of visitors, with approximately 130,000 visitors in 2017.
And so on. Now, just to say that actually those figures aren't quite right. That Brecon actually had 80,000 visitors and Snowdon was 140,000 visitors. So that's a bit of a shame that the AI isn't reading the graph that accurately. Now it did get the highest and it did get the lowest, and it wasn't far off. But just to be sure, and I've done this a few times on this chart and it gives me slightly different results each time. So it gives you a really good description of the chart, but if you need accurate figures, you're going to need the numbers to go with that chart. So hopefully there would be a table with those numbers as well. So there's just to be aware that AI is very good, but it's not always completely correct.
Just worth also saying, Sharon, just another real world example. I was using this lately, got a smart meter recently. So to track the energy usage that that I'm using in a given week or whatever, and there's a bar chart that my provider has on there when you log into your account. And I'm asking the AI things like, what days did I use the most energy? But I think your point is valid, that don't take it as absolute certainty, but it's good to give you some overviews of what you might be looking at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's very good descriptions for pictures, definitely. Yeah.
Just have a few chats, or sorry, a few messages. Steve Simper says he often uses superscript in Word. So
Brecon Mountain
Sorry, I just escaped out of my picture as well.
So his favorite keystroke is Control, Shift, and equals if you want to do superscript, which is actually, that's a good keystroke. So thanks for that, Steve.
That's
Phil,
the kind of just a higher, like a smaller, higher text just to the right of your normal size text. Yeah, for footnotes and things.
Phil Daniel is saying that since he updated to Windows 11, since I close a Word document, it automatically saves the document rather than giving me the option to save. And is there a way to not save changes? And I suspect that's something to do with OneDrive.
Yeah.
Phil, if you were happy to drop me an email, we might take this offline because I think it may need some investigation. And I could, or if it's not me, the people cleverer than me in tech support can maybe give a call. But if you email me, we'll see where we take it if you don't mind doing that. Jackie is mentioning Picture Smart. You can use the question mark key. So if you do JAWS key with space followed by P followed by question mark, you'll get all the list of shortcuts you can use in Picture Smart, which is another great tip.
Yes.
And yeah, that's all our things on chat. Thank you to everyone for chatting. I will bring Jessica because she's been patiently having her hand up and it may be very sore for her to be holding it up so long. So we better let her bring her virtual hand down. Jessica, you should be able to unmute yourself. Hi, Jessica.
Hello.
How are you?
Hello. Hiya, I'm good, thank you. Gosh, my arm is so sore. It's been
That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
But I didn't know about this Picture Smart, and I just tried it and I pressed it and it says Picture Smart and then doesn't say anything else. Is there something I've got to do to properly enable it?
What version of JAWS are you on?
The most up-to-date one.
Okay.
Can't remember what year we're in, 2024.
Yeah. So when you did Alt Control, so you have to be on a picture first.
Yeah, I was on a picture. I did the control and no, not whatever it was with the space bar to hear that popping sound, and then I press the key, and then it just says picture smart.
Okay, it says picture smart, but then you need to follow it with a key. So you can say W for the window, the current window, or as Sharon did, C for the control. So if your cursor was on a picture, it's on a control, then C would be the most appropriate key. You can also do S for screen, which will give you a kind of an overview of your screen. It'll describe the picture, but it might describe other windows that are open on the screen. So
Okay, cool.
and then you can do F for files. So if you're on File Explorer, for example, and you have an image file, you can do that. So you kind of have to decide based on where you are and where your focus is at the time.
Right, thank you. I didn't realize there was a next bit. So yeah, I will try that out.
And
thank you.
that goes back to the point Jackie made.
Let me try that actually.
Looking at doing the question mark, and that'll give you all the shortcuts.
So if I do caps lock
space P, picture smart,
and question. Here we go.
Heading level 1. The following commands are available in the picture smart layer. Acquire and describe from the computer screen or application. You can describe a control with the letter C.
Here we go.
Describe the entire screen using the letter S.
There you go. So there's a whole list of stuff there, and maybe I'll copy that and put it somewhere for my own reference.
Yeah, and it's a great way to get those shortcuts. There's definitely, and you can do the same in any of those layered commands. So if you wanted to know, for example, the OCR layer, space with a JAWS key with space followed by O followed by question mark, the sound layer. So yeah, there's any of them.
Thanks, Jackie.
Thank you, Jackie. Yeah. And thank you to everyone for some great shortcuts today. I have learned, now this is I think when Sharon was talking about this session the other day, we were chatting, Sharon was keen that people would kind of engage a bit and we would maybe all learn. I've certainly learned at least 5 new shortcuts today.
Fantastic.
So
yeah.
I'm delighted.
I'm off to play with that Svetlana's one now because I want to see what that does. But we don't have time now in the webinar.
Yeah, and people are saying thank you. Some people have to leave, so we do appreciate everybody attending. We'll be back in a month on the 2nd of October, but we do appreciate that. I just see a chat that somebody has mentioned, and it is a good point. With the latest update in JAWS, you can press enter. So you do JAWS key, space followed by P, and then enter, and it will try to do the function that makes the most sense. So in other words, it will try to determine. I have found that just to be, sometimes it works, sometimes not so well. I think it's it's
in progress.
I think the AI is still learning. So you can, it's definitely something you have to play with a little bit yourself.
So it'd be,
and Chad has found the same as well. Okay, thanks, Chad.
Great stuff.
Interesting. Sharon, last question that Jackie's put in chat: is there a complete list of Microsoft keystrokes? Jackie, ask AI. go to ChatGPT.
I don't like lists of shortcuts because it takes everything out of context. But Microsoft do, Microsoft, if you put in Word keyboard shortcuts, you can get a list from Microsoft, or you can always go to Sharon's Shortcuts website, sharons-shortcuts.ie. There's a load of stuff on using Word there, and there's a search box, so you can just put in, say, something like format, and it would probably give you the insert plus Z. Insert plus F even. Yes.
And sign up to your mailing list, Sharon.
And sign up to my mailing list to get a shortcut every Monday morning and pass it on to other people and get the whole world to use the keyboard more.
Okay, and we just have a lovely message from Suzanne in chat, which says it's a great website. So there you go. And
thank you very much.
Sharon just sent her €50. So there you go. Money well spent. Okay, thank you, everybody. We are going to finish up. Appreciate everybody attending, and we will talk to you all soon. Many thanks, Sharon, for a great session.
Thanks, Stuart. Thanks, everyone.
And chat to you soon.
All the best. Take care.